Hey everybody, Dan Schinder here with this
Steven
guy
Schinder
on Yesshift.
Yeah, I'm the son, he's the dad, and we have a show about Yes and its members and some tangentially related stuff.
Absolutely, and today we're going to go on a birthday tangent with three members of three different iterations of Yes with two guys overlapping.
Yeah, so this is covering the January birthdays. On the 11th, we had Tony Kaye's birthday, the original Yes keyboardist. And then on the 13th, which is Friday the 13th this year, funny enough, was Trevor Rabin's birthday, the guitarist who, when Yes came back in the 80s, it was very much reimagined, different sound, and they didn't intend it to be Yes, and he just got wrapped into it, just went with it, and it was built quite a new part of the discography. And of course, today is the birthday of current Yes singer Jon Davison, who's been with the band, like almost 11 years now.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, and he's still the new guy.
Yeah, I feel like anyone, like any Yes member who's under 60 feels like the new guy to me in a way.
In age?
Yeah.
Yeah, and a kid.
Right.
Yeah, because Billy's younger than me, and I'm about to turn 60, so he's still the kid, but not necessarily the new guy because he's been with them 30 years? No, almost.
Yeah, like you're talking about Billy, right?
Sherwood, yeah.
Yeah, like on and off, it's been, because Union was a little more than 30 years ago, and then there was guys in the late 80s, so yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, wow. So let's start with Tony Kaye. Happy birthday, right. Tony. There would be no Yes without Tony. Not just because of his Hammond organ sound and piano playing in the beginning, but because he's a founding member. He's a founding member. And that's huge when you think of a founding member of something that has lasted over 50 years. It's 54 years and 2 months and 3 days. And and that's pretty freaking legendary, considering that not only has the music endured that long, but the music he recorded in the beginning has endured that long. And not only the fact that the organization, institution, the band has lasted that long. And folks, save your arguments about it's not Yes without Francis Funk, but save it. Just save it. Well, we had that one unwiped, pasty a-hole that commented on that post you did about this show on Yes Space, the great Yes group, about, John did. Just fucking save it. We don't care. No one cares if you like it or which iteration you like. And if you don't, that's fine. You don't have to be an idiot about it. Just say, yeah, not for me. That's good enough. Good enough. I digress. So Tony Kaye, what's your favorite song by Tony off the top of your head? 1, 2, 3, go.
Oh, jeez.
I'll narrow it down from his first iteration of being in the band. From the first.
Okay. Well, the one that, it's kind of tough because Starship Trooper is like high up there for me, but I also think he really stands out on something like Astral Traveler, with like that bit that he does in the middle. It's like dun, 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 dun. I think that's really cool.
I agree. For me, it's all good. No, just kidding. It's
I mean, there is a purity to like the organ sound when he does I've Seen All Good People.
Oh, yeah.
I really like.
Yeah, and when he changes the chords, he's got the wipe, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But for me, it's between Yours Is No Disgrace and Perpetual Change.
Oh, yeah. Those are, and I think
those are epics given the time period. Those would be considered epics, I think.
Yeah, those were longer than some of the average commercial songs. Yeah, and we were talking about, I think on the previous episode, how we love the House of Yes versions of those songs as well.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And folks, by the way, chime in, let us know where you're watching from, answer the questions that Steve and I ask each other. We intentionally don't discuss this stuff ahead of time. In fact, while we were just sitting here waiting for the time to come around, I started to say something. I said, oh, no, I'll save it for the show. And then he did the same thing because we want it to be totally organic. But I'm in Globe, Arizona, in the mountains 100 miles east of Phoenix. And you are?
I'm in Downey, California.
SoCal, where I'm from. Not Downey, but where I'm from.
Yeah, SoCal is short for Southern California, for those who don't know.
Right, for those in Belgium are like, what? What is that?
Yeah.
South of the calorie? Like, what is that? So tell us where you're watching from. So Tony Kaye, just freaking legendary. But not only with Yes, but Yoso, Circa, Badger.
Yeah, and Badfinger.
A
similar name with a few extra letters in it. You know?
That's right. And his work on One Live Badger is just amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, just great performing, great band. Then we'll move on to Trevor.
Right, but first, you want to show a little bit of that Yoso.
Duh, thank you. Yes.
Yeah, this was something I came across recently, and I'm actually not sure if I was aware of this medley when around the time that Yoso were performing. I think it might be like new information to me when I found it like the other day. But
wow.
It's like this medley of early Yes material. And I see Dave Watkinson commented, "Hi from a cold English evening. Bed soon. I'll stay as long as I can." Yeah, thanks, Dave.
Thank you so much, Dave. Appreciate it. Looking forward to your new book. Here we go with some of that medley that Steve's talking about, and I remember this. Here we go.
I think it might be Think of Someone Else's book, but yeah, Dave has worked on. Yeah. But yeah, Dave has worked on Yes in the 1980s. I know Simon Barrow is working on Yes in the 1990s, and Kevin Mulrine is putting out that Tormato book soon. So
Dave, get with the freaking program. Give us another book. Here we go. Check this out, folks.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is another great one. Happy birthday, Tony Kaye.
Yeah, I see Dave commented again saying, watch this space, chaps. Another article on the way. Gonna take some time, though. Happy birthday week to all the yes men.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, yeah, I really like this medley. It kind of, I feel, sort of reinforces yours and mine mindset about how like those first three albums kind of feel like one era to us before the like Roger Dean art covered stuff.
Yeah, so. Pre-Roger, even though there's the change from Peter to Steve Howe, there's still something about those three albums are nested together in my mind, you know.
Yeah, and yeah, I really like this clip. You got Billy there and Johnny Bruns, who's currently in Total Mass Retain, and it was like this Toto hybrid band for like a couple years, Yoso, and even though they only put out, I think, one studio album, like it's really cool that this happened and they were able to pull from like both of the repertoires. And Tony's just, I love seeing how into it Tony gets. Like when we saw him on the 50th tour, you saw like how into it he was playing the songs that he was on. I just love seeing clips from that.
I agree. Cool. On to Trevor. I remember he was looked at as like the boy wonder. He was 28 or 29 when he joined, and they made a big deal about that. And the funny thing about them making a big deal about that is that all the other members were younger than that when they joined, so it's kind of weird. He was the only one in his 20s at the time, and just the revolutionary sound, and then how he interpreted songs like Yours Is No Disgrace, Starship Trooper, All Good People, and, songs from the different eras, and it absolutely worked. I saw that tour. I saw 90125, Big Generator, The Onion, Union, Talk, and it was great. It really, really was. And Trevor, of course, went on to be one of the best in a lot of people's opinion, and I'm one of them, soundtrack composers for film and producing other projects. His great solo album that we talked about on our trip when we were on the road.
Can't Look Away.
Yeah, Can't Look Away. It's just such a great album. I remember when the first video came out for that on MTV, wearing the polka dot shirt, playing drums. I just remember it so vividly,
Yeah. I actually re-listened to that album the other day. It's one of my, and I think Mark Anthony Kaye from Yes Music podcast has a similar opinion. He and I both put Elias of Sun Hillow, Fish Out of Water, and Can't Look Away high up there in terms of Yes solo albums, which is interesting.
Yeah, I agree. Beginnings by How is way up there for me. When we covered that, and I had it up I pulled it up on my laptop over here. I hadn't listened to it for quite a while. I mean, I know the songs in my head, but I put it on. It's that tab stayed up for literally 9 months. I just kept listening to it over and over. And the last song, I can hear it. What's the title of the last song?
Break Away from It All?
Break Away from It All. Just got stuck in my head like It's a Small World. I mean, it was just tattooed on my brain. Just a great album. But so Trevor Rabin, what's your favorite Trevor Rabin piece with Yes?
Oh, it's definitely Endless Dream. I'm very much an epics person, and I feel like Endless Dream was such a great way to cap off that period where he was with them, recording with them, and it probably took some people by surprise at the time, right? Were you expecting anything like that?
No, not at all. And when that came out, your brother was how old?
Almost 4.
Almost 4. So this is before you were born. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a certain, after you were born and we moved to Ventura, or waiting to be born, waiting for you. I remember,
am waiting.
There's a specific place I remember near where we lived in Ventura where I was driving through the farms, and Alex was, like you said, under 4 or around 4. And that song was playing, Endless Dream. And he always loved that part that if I could imitate him, imitating that goes
Yeah, that
he
guitar.
just loved that every time, and I got such a kick out of that. But you could guess my favorite by Trevor.
Is it Miracle of Life?
It is. I just love that song. I do love Endless Dream. Love it, love it. But there's something about Miracle of Life for that. The whole band is just on fire the whole time. Not that they're not on Endless Dream, but there's just something about that song that, I don't know, feels familiar, and the mandolin in there, and it's not as far away down a different road from classic Yes as Endless Dream in some ways, yet Endless Dream is tied to it all by, like you said, being an epic, but really great work by Trevor.
Yeah, and before we play a clip, I see a couple comments on the Drum Talk TV page. Deborah Podjaske, I hope I pronounced that correctly, says, I'm from Canoga Park.
Wait, back up. Canoga Park. I grew up in West Hills, Deborah, which was Canoga Park when we first lived there. I lived off of Highlander, which is between West Hills Hospital and Victory off of Platt. I'm sure you know where that is. Yeah.
Yeah, and Deborah also adds living in North Michigan, so I guess that's current.
Oh, that's a change.
Yeah, and Brent Harknett says, I'm from Van Nuys and later Santa Clarita, but lived in Hollywood when I moved to LA.
Oh, wow. So that they know where West Hills is too. Van Nuys, the heart of the San Fernando Valley.
Yeah, it says, now I'm in the Midwest. I can't say I miss there anymore. I'm not sure which area Brent's referring to, but yeah.
Cool, it was SoCal. Yeah, I get that. I love LA, love SoCal, love California geographically, but lots of other stuff I don't like about it other than Stephen and my other son and his wife. But living away up in the mountains now in a small town away from the city's just been great. It's been awesome. Thanks for chiming in. Thanks for following what we do on Drum Talk TV and Yesshift, where we're simulcasting on to Drum Talk TV.
Yeah, and Dave says Trevor did a solo tour of the UK before he joined Yes, which I saw, and I remember being amazed. He was a support act at the time.
So that was in between Rabbit and Yes? He does solo tour. Is that what you mean, Dave?
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, I remember because I think Trevor's most recent solo album up until that point might have been, I think it's titled Wolf or something like that. So yeah, I mean, it's interesting to think about the idea of seeing any of these guys perform live before they're even like performing with the band. It's kind of bizarre to think about, you know?
Yeah, and I know that Rick Wakeman was a huge fan of Trevor before he joined Yes. He followed him.
Right. So the clip that I found, so this is from the Swedish Rock Festival in 2018. Anderson Rabin Wakeman performed there. And I thought this was a neat looking one. He plays a little bit of Make It Easy and then Oh Nerve a Lonely Heart. I know it's like,
deep cut.
It's one of the most overplayed Yes songs, but
it's the smoke on the water of Yes.
Yeah, but I was drawn to it because of just how much fun he seems to be having, you know, with the riffs and whatnot. So,
yeah, totally. Let's put that on. Here we go. Enjoy some of this, folks, and then give us your take on your favorite Trevor Rabin song with Yes or solo. Let's start here. jump ahead a touch. Whoops, McAfee, get that shit out of here. That's so cool. He still looks so youthful. He's 68 or 69 on this birthday.
I think I turned 70 next year. Yeah,
next year. So he's 69. He looks great. Wow.
Yeah, this was from 5 years ago now, but yeah, I think he still looked great in that Alan White tribute we talked about. So.
Yeah.
And he's got, like we mentioned a couple weeks ago, a new solo album coming out this year, apparently. Called
Yeah,
Rio.
very excited about that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like it could go anywhere, but yeah.
By the way, before we get to Jon Davison for his birthday, I want to mention to folks that right after this episode, when we log off, we're going to log back on for a brief episode. Steve doesn't even know what it's about. I just told him, just trust me, you'll just roll with it. You'll be fine. So hang out, folks. Check us out after this is over for another episode. So Jon Davison, and wow, to hear you say earlier, he's been with them 11 years.
Yeah.
How time flies. And we've each seen him at least a couple times each with Yes.
Yeah, I've seen him...
Like four, right?
Yeah, 4 times now, yeah.
Yeah. He was great when I met him when he played in Phoenix at the Celebrity Theater, which is in the Round, which was cool, when Dylan was on the tour.
Yeah.
And I have to say, and I told him this, because Awaken is the quintessential Yes song. I know there's Gates of Delirium. I know that there's Close to the Edge. But if you take everything that's ever happened in Yes and create one epic, like the one thing that's most representative of what the spirit of Yes is all about, I really believe it's Awaken. John Anderson, coincidentally, feels the same way. It's his favorite Yes song, unless there's something off the Quest he likes I don't know about. But but I told Jon Davison just how drop jaw impressed I was with how he sung that song. The fact that it was in the set list was impressive enough, and he just... To say he pulled it off, he didn't pull it off. He did it, and he did a great job. And when Jon Davison, in my opinion, plays those older songs, whether it's something that Trevor Horn did, something John Anderson did, he does a wonderful homage. He's not trying to make it his own or anything. The integrity is there, and he's not trying to be them, but yet he's not trying to make it sound like his version of it. And I really respect that. I just think it's great.
Yeah, he definitely carries the spirit of the material. You can tell it's him singing, but I enjoy his take on it and how, what's most important is that, he's honoring it, and he's also expressing how much he's enjoying singing the material. You can see a lot of joy and like how he has the opportunity to sing all this stuff. And
Yeah.
I think it's really important that like, you know, the musicians like really love playing this stuff, you know?
Yeah, and you know, we've seen other musicians through time be in this position. Trevor Rabin, for one, when he first started with Yes, you know, being in that ominous, ginormous shadow of John Anderson and people constantly criticizing. It's like, it really is on par with Robert Plant will never play with Led Zeppelin again. He's made that so clear. So if Led Zeppelin decided, screw it, let's get Jason, John Paul, you want to do this with me? You know, if Jimmy's saying that, and they get someone else, they'll never totally be accepted by everybody. And that's the position he's in. And that's, to me, that's very brave. You know, when you're an artist of any type, let alone a musician, let alone a singer who this is your instrument, and you join a band 40 years after or whatever, after the original singer, and to step into those shoes, it's like, that's not easy. I mean, that in itself earns a lot of respect on my scorecard.
Yeah, definitely.
It's brave.
Yeah. So the clip that I found is from 2014. This is one of the songs off Heaven and Earth. One of my favorite songs off that album, actually. It's Believe Again. And I just love the positivity of the song. And I think Jon Davison sounds great on this. So here's a clip.
Here we go. And you know, there's an introduction by Chris Squire about this show. This is probably after their first song. I'm going to let that play just so people can get a glimpse of Chris.
Okay,
the King.
Yeah.
We're going to carry on with the show, and at this point, we'd like to present a couple of songs from our new album, Heaven and Earth. And, well, last week actually now. So, the first of the two songs is called Believe Again.
So climb to the height of a mountain.
It's very yes. I love it.
Yeah, when I listen to this song, I get so nostalgic. It's like I listen to it and I'm back in that place where I'm about to go off to college for the first time. It's just that's the power of music, you know?
Yeah, yeah. It's the soundtrack of our lives. It could take you back. Absolutely.
Right.
Cool.
So, yeah, happy birthday, Jon Davison, and of course, Trevor and Tony as well.
What's your favorite Jon Davison song? With yes.
It's, well, I'll tell you, I think it might be, I have like two contenders, but I feel like maybe I should save it for later since one of them is actually on my set list choices. So
okay,
if that's all right for you.
Okay, I'll do the same. So,
okay.
Well, let's give our set list choices and then let's read some comments from other people and let's ask everybody who's watching now or even on the archive, chime in with three songs, right? Yeah,
four songs.
Four songs. Just kidding. Four songs. I have four songs. Four songs with an imaginary fantasy lineup of Jon Davison, Trevor Rabin, and Tony Kaye, and then mix in a living bass player and a living drummer. And there we have another iteration of Yes, which is, considering what they've done the last 54 years with personnel changes, is totally within bounds. And give what four songs you'd like that band to play. So yeah, I'll let you go first, Steve.
Right. And yeah, it's actually almost 55 years now. Crazy.
Yeah.
So my four songs, and I was kind of surprised by my choices because I did not, I said earlier that I'm an epics guy, but I did not choose any epics for this, oddly enough.
What's up with that?
Yeah, like I know I previously joked, oh yeah, Tales from Topographic Oceans, obviously, but no. So the four songs that I would choose are all four songs on From a Page. No, just kidding. I mean that would be a cool set list, but in all seriousness, my first song actually would be the opening song from a Page, To the Moment. So, it's got, originated with Benoit David and Oliver Wakeman and of course Howe, White, and Squire. So like none of these guys whose birthdays we're celebrating played on that song. But
that's interesting. I didn't even consider using a song that none of them are on, but that's fair.
Yeah, like
To the Moment, to change the rules or.
But To the Moment would be like a really kick-ass opener to this, I think.
That's funny. Mine are in the order of performance also. That's interesting.
Yeah, and then after that, I would go with Miracle of Life, which of course originally featured Kaye and Rabin. Mm-hmm. We've often talked about how it's a shame that Yes never played this song live. It's an incredible song. And
I know. I really, would love to see that live. I love playing that song.
Yeah, and then I
play accordion for those who don't know.
Yeah, Accordion Talk TV. That's the page. And then after that, I'd go with a song from The Ladder, and that song would be New Language.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's got like a lot of nice twists and turns. Like,
again, with none of these players on it. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, just beginning with the...
That's totally Tony.
And then you got like the guitar solo later, which maybe Trevor would reinvent in some way, which could be interesting.
Yeah, love that guitar solo too.
Yeah, and then I'd end with Jon Davison originally featuring song A Living Island from The Quest. So like I was saying,
that's a great song.
Yeah, I think that and To Ascend from Heaven and Earth are my two favorite Jon Davison Yes songs. But yeah, like A Living Island is a bit more mellow, but I think still works as a closer. And like I listened to these songs back to back, and I feel like they work so well, like flowing into one another. So those 4 songs, like, I think would be cool to see by this lineup. And for bass and drums,
I'm very curious about this.
Yeah, so I thought about this a few different ways. I mean, obviously, like, I would love Billy and Jay, but if we're trying to go beyond them,
outside of existing Yes members.
Yeah, and I also tried going beyond people I know personally, because, I mean, this is going to sound really cheesy, but I was like you on drums and my friend Chris Molina from Air Gloom on bass.
Oh,
like,
cool.
Would be cool. But if I had to go with like other people, I would say...
You don't. Let's move on. No, that's cool. Thank you. That's cool.
Yeah, I would say Mike Portnoy on drums. You know, very much well known for his work with Dream Theater. And on bass...
And other work, of course.
Yeah. For bass, I would say Jonas Reingold, who...
Oh, yeah.
Who was with the Flower Kings for a long time and is in the Sea Within, which is, I guess, kind of a super group. I know Tom Brislin's involved in that as well. And funny enough, I was reminded, like, after like looking into it more, that he and Mike Portnoy were part of that video that we've talked about a while ago, where on Cruise to the Edge they honored Chris Squire after his passing by playing Hold Out Your Hand.
Yeah.
Like, they were both performing there, so
that's interesting.
Yeah, and
what a weird tie-in.
Yeah, there's definitely influences there. So yeah.
Cool. That's cool. Thanks for including me. So I'm going to ask you, as we move on with this process, make a running list of these songs, and let's see what full set list we end up with as we add non-repeat titles, and then read that off at the end.
Oh yeah, I can do that. I'll copy and paste and
cool
stuff.
So my opener would be Miracle of Life. And then probably my favorite Jon Davison song is Sister Sleeping Soul from The Quest.
Oh, that's a good one.
I love that song. And then move into Sludge from Trevor's album Don't Look Away. Love that song. And then close with No Opportunity Necessary, No Experience Needed, which just freaking rocks. Bring it back old school for Tony Kaye to just rip away on the keys, you know, from back in the day. I think that those 4 songs are powerful. And I didn't consider myself for drums, which is funny because I absolutely could pull it off. This is the most common stuff I play probably is Yes music. So myself and I'll change this up. I was going to say Geddy Lee, and how cool would it be to finally play with Geddy Lee, but you know what? I'm going to include Rick Zaccaro, who I grew up with and was in one of my favorite bands I was ever in from 1978 to 1980, 81, and who will be doing something I can't talk about right now, but that'd be cool. Otherwise, it would be Gavin Harrison and Geddy Lee.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that was my first choice, and I didn't even think of me until you thought of me, which, again, thanks. Good due to score some points.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm surprised that you didn't consider...
I know, isn't that weird? Yes. I play this stuff all the time.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Cool, yeah.
Cool. So I'll start by reading some comments and we'll take turns and then keep a list. So I'm going to start with Tony Jefferson, Tony, Billy Sherwood on bass. Oh, and himself on drums and backing vocals. Tony's great. So that works. But he doesn't give the songs, and that's okay. So you go for the next one.
Yeah, so this next one, Christopher Lee, really cool name, really evokes that legendary actor.
What if that's him?
No, yeah, from like Beyond, the Great Beyond, yeah. So Christopher says, Hearts, I Am Waiting, Love Will Find a Way, and Hold On.
Huh.
And for bass...
all Trevor stuff.
Yeah, and for bass... well, it's also like all Tony stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Tony was part of that era. But yeah, Jon Davison could definitely pull those off, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
And for bass, Christopher mentioned Tal Wilkenfeld, who I'll go into a little bit more later, and Simon Phillips. You and I, of course, were already familiar with Simon Phillips, even had him on Drum Talk TV recently.
No, that was Simon Collins.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Massive brain fart on my part.
That's okay.
Yeah, I think I read it as Collins, and then as I was like reading it out loud right now, I said what it actually says. But anyway, total brain fart.
That's okay. That's a great lineup.
Yeah. So I looked into Tal Wilkenfeld a bit more, and she has done like a lot. So she's an Australian singer, songwriter, bassist, and guitarist, and has worked with the likes of Jeff Beck, Steve Lukather, Todd Rundgren, Toto, and was even on a track off of Trevor Rabin's Jacaranda album called Annerly Road. So there's a bit of a connection there.
Yeah, I knew Jeff Beck. That's where I know her from. Yeah, the late, great Jeff Beck.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, so that's kind of a deep cut for me anyway. It's kind of totally outside of my periphery, but yeah, it's a really great choice, I think.
Yep, awesome. And then we've got Christopher Ocornero, who says, I suppose Finalize, I'm Running, Yours Is No Disgrace, and Survival with Lee Pomeroy on bass. That's a great choice, but he doesn't mention the drummer, so I'll sit in.
Oh, I think so. Earlier I checked again, and I'm pretty sure Christopher, because I asked like...
I already claimed it.
Because I asked what drummer, and I'm pretty sure Christopher responded with, I suppose, Lou Molino. So, you have both the guys who performed with ARW.
Yeah. You're keeping the list of the additional songs, yeah?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, cool. Go for the next one.
Yeah, so Brian Harris says...
Hey, Brian.
A longtime listener, says, keeping things in the somewhat realm of possibility. Would like to see... would like to see them perform It Can Happen, Miracle of Life, Endless Dream, and Yours Is No Disgrace. I chose these because at least one member originally performed on them. I generally don't like Trevor doing Steve Howe's licks, except Yours Is No Disgrace. He has made his own, as the 90125 and Union Tours show. As far as rhythm section goes, it should be Jay and Billy because they are yes now. If this were total fantasy, I might go John Camp of Renaissance and Carl Palmer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's neat. That's cool. I'll go with Robert. I don't know if it's Nasser or Nasir, but Robert, thank you so much. We love that you follow us. We see your comments a lot. He says, wouldn't that be great fun? Naturally, I imagine songs Trevor Rabin and Tony Kaye played on, so I imagine Jon Davison singing Another Vote for Hold On, I'm Running, Miracle of Life, and Endless Dream. And then he goes on to say, I'd love to see Jay Shellen and Billy Sherwood with this fantasy lineup, though I have no doubt that Louis Molino III and Lee Pomeroy would also do a great job. Now, if we're going to be totally fantasized, I want to hear any and all living alumni play tunes from Fish Out of Water, Can't Look Away, and ABWH.
Yes.
Nice. There's quite an assortment of music there. Wow. That's cool.
Yeah, especially like the ABWH stuff. Most of that hasn't been performed live by any of these guys since that ABWH period.
None of it except for the version that Rick and John did on the 35th anniversary tour of
The Meeting. Yeah.
The Meeting, yeah. Which is weird that they did that. It's not a Yes song. It's not a Yes song. It's not a Yes song.
Yeah. And then we got Nathan Tyler Lowry, who says Time from Cinema, Sludge from Can't Look Away. And to recap, Time is what... there's no known recording of it out there. It might be in storage somewhere possibly, or maybe it's lost. We don't know, but it's supposedly a 20-minute version of Cinema, the song that like Cinema.
Right, the long, yeah, that's right. Oh, that would be interesting.
Yeah, so Time, Sludge from Can't Look Away, No Opportunity Necessary, No Experience Needed. And he kind of trailed off and then later said, Flight 11, which is from Tony Kaye's End of Innocence album.
Oh.
And yeah, and I gotta say, personally, I think that would be kind of tough. Like, I would omit the recording part personally if it were me, but the music on that and like the other songs on that album, like Tony Kaye really impressed with the music of End of Innocence.
Yeah. Yep.
And I know Nathan later chimed in with bassist and drummer. Okay, here it is. This obviously necessitates Jay Shellen as the drummer, but perhaps give the busy Billy Sherwood a break and enlist Ian Hornell. So I'm just double checking that I know who that is for sure.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know who that is off the top of my head, and there's a lot of top of my head.
Yeah, so, okay, I just Googled him. So best known as a touring member of 10cc and Jeff Lynne's Electric Light Orchestra.
That's right.
But yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, I guess he also plays bass if Nathan included him. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
awesome.
really thinking outside the box. Yeah.
Yeah. Danny Helios, thanks for contributing as well. In my head, I could see a tour where the current Yes reunite with all surviving members. Perhaps Trevor, John D, John A, Tony, Jay, and Billy play Big Generator front to back. Wow. Then bring Steve and Rick out to play about any 70s classic Yes album. A flight of fantasy, but something I would love to see. Full set list. Oh, he's got a full set list. I'm going to burn through it real quick, okay? He didn't mention Bill Bruford, I guess, considering that he's retired. So that part's like living in reality to some degree, which is interesting, right? That's pretty interesting. So we got Miracle of Life, Sisters, Sleeping Soul. Hey, we're on the same page. Sludge. Oh, he's got my first. Oh, that's your. Oh, I thought that was his full set list. So that's your full set list of everything mentioned.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Okay, I thought that.
I was moving back and forth on the dock, and I was kind of surprised when I said, "Oh, he put a set list." But yeah, so
no. So should I read? Can I read those off?
Let me just make sure I have everything on here.
Okay. And these are in no particular order. That's another show.
Yeah, so I guess we could read all these songs, and then I'll mention like the other albums that were mentioned without being too specific.
Here we go. Miracle of Life, Sister, Sleeping Soul, Sludge, No Opportunity Necessary, No Opportunity Needed, No Experience Needed, right?
Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah.
To the Moment, New Language, A Living Island, Hearts. Great song, by the way. That might be my second favorite Trevor song, actually.
Okay.
Other than Endless Dream. Okay, my third favorite. I Am Waiting, Love Will Find a Way, Hold On, Finalize, I Am Running, Yours Is No Disgrace, Survival, It Can Happen, Endless Dream, I'm Running, again.
Oh, yeah.
A reprise. Time from Cinema and Flight 11. So
yeah,
one of the reasons
we also got mentions of stuff from like Big Generator front to back and stuff from Fish Out of Water, Can't Look Away, and ABWH. And yeah, I think that's everything. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, what were you going to say?
Well, what it exemplifies, first I wanted to see just what everything looked like together. But it also exemplifies, you can have any, in my opinion, not like that idiot that commented on that other post, but in my opinion, you could have any discussion about anything Yes related and talk about contributing songs and end up with a set list that absolutely is amazing.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
It's very eclectic, yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter what era, what combination of eras or anything like that. It's just, this is all great stuff.
Yeah, like seeing any band perform
any
these
of
songs together would be a great show, yeah.
Yeah, totally. I need to put a band together, but where I live, there aren't any. I can't do it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, if I temporarily ever moved back into a city, or if it could be a flight for gigs band, I would absolutely love to be in a Yes tribute band. I would love that. Just one of the many I would love, but that would be my first choice.
Yeah, I'm with you there. even just contributing backing vocals, I would be like really into that. Yeah.
Or you could wear a foil cape, a sheet of foil tucked in your collar and play keys. Thanks for watching and listening, everybody. We've got so many shows lined up from our show purge from a trip we were on together in October, filming a documentary of Roger Dean and Freya Dean's exhibition in San Francisco, which that doc is coming out soon. One night in the hotel room, we came up with one or two ideas and then just brain barfed like 20 episodes we thought of. But we still want to know what you'd like to talk about and see. It's your show too. So write us at yesshiftpodcast@gmail.com. And you can can they just listen to audio somewhere other than looking away from our faces?
No, they can't look. No, I'm kidding. So yeah, they could go to anchor.fm/yesshift and see all the podcast platforms we're on and click the support button if they want to leave a contribution as well. If they want to catch us live, they can catch us here on facebook.com/yesshift, and we'll post about when we're going live again, because we figure out scheduling stuff. And we also post this on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Yesshift. So yeah, plenty of stuff to look forward to. And
this is episode 86.
Yeah.
So there's plenty to dig back into. Even if you listen to other birthday episodes of the same people, it's always a different format. I can't believe how much we've done. It's amazing.
Yeah, how much Yes have done as well, just all the twists and turns. It's wild.
Thanks for following what we do, folks. We'll be back in literally just a few minutes with another
that's right.
little surprise episode that Steve doesn't even know about. I sprung this on him right before we started this. So click get notifications when Yesshift goes live and it'll pop up, or just jump back on our page in a few minutes, hit refresh, and we should be live there. Thanks, everybody, for following what we do.
Yeah, thank you.